Hi, friend. Welcome back to the Joy Channel. I am your life coach and Chief Joy Officer, Heidi Bee, and today we are going to rock out on another Joy Jam. And Joy Jams are really just here to help provide the service of particular topics that may hit home for you and help you up level in life just a little bit more. So today's topic is one that I know I have personally struggled with for a very long time. And it just recently surfaced when I saw someone else's quote on Instagram this morning. And so I thought, oh my soul, that is the topic that I want to engage with you for this week. So the post that I saw this morning on Instagram said that indecision is a decision. I don't know about you, but decisiveness is one of the tricky and sticky places for me in my life. I think it centers from that spot of people pleasing. If any of you struggle or have struggled with people pleasing, you may find yourself in the space of indecision more often than you feel comfortable with. And so really what the post was saying is that indecision is a decision. It's a choice to actually put off choosing the next step for your desires, going in the direction of what you desire. And so I sat with that for a little while, and now I want to share some tips on moving through and becoming more of a decisive person. I'm putting this out there because this is something that, like I said, I've struggled with in the past, and I'm going to start to take ownership in these ways to navigate that indecisiveness, that indecision, because I know that I always want to move closer and closer and closer to the version of myself that I want to be and in the direction of my desires more than anything else. So really feeling indecisive when when I'm with that for a minute, it's really more of sitting in the decision-making spot, right? So indecisive is sitting in the decision instead of making it. And really what we're doing when this happens is we're delaying those opportunities. A lack of action creates a lack of opportunity because nothing changes if nothing changes. So if we continue to sit in the decision, and sometimes our intuition will tell us, maybe sit with this for a minute. We'll talk about that in just a second here. There's a difference between an intuitive hit of that and just sitting indecisively because you're afraid or fearful of what might come or not come next. So really being stuck in indecision, there's a couple of things that we can do when we're feeling like that. It could be A or B or A, B or C or D. It could be so many things. And then we start to actually feel our bodies feel quite overwhelmed. And instead of responding or taking action, we actually self-paralyze and just like sit with all these buzzy, for me, it's like a buzzy type of emotion. It's a very contractive type of a feeling like, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. And that's kind of what my heart always says to me. So just be with whatever it is that your body or your busy brain tries to tell you, these stories of like, I don't know, I'm scared, all these things. Those are realities of what pop up when we're feeling indecisive. So I want to lend a couple of things. If you want to grab a pen and paper and write a couple of things down, that's fine. Or you can always replay this video later. So the first thing that we want to do is ask yourself, what stories am I telling myself? What stories am I telling myself? If ever I'm feeling indecisive or I just can't choose, what stories am I telling myself? Usually we're going fast forward to the outcome, and that's what creates this paralyzing sensation because we're trying to fast forward and our brain is trying to figure out, if I make decision A, what's going to happen? If I make decision B, what's going to happen? And many times it races to a worst case scenario rather than giving us an A+ assumption, right? So first things first is just to become aware of what stories you are telling yourself. What are you choosing to believe? The second thing is to just truly acknowledge, what am I afraid of? Write that one down. The most important one. What am I afraid of? Am I afraid of this maybe not happening the way that I expect it to happen? Am I afraid that it might affect other people in a certain way? And then. And here's the other thing with our stories and what we're afraid of, we actually have to allow ourselves to go, and then what? And then what? And then what? So, for instance, if I am telling myself a story of, I've been trying to make a decision on what I want to do for my birthday this year. I know that sounds so silly, but I've been super indecisive about it, right? And so there's kind of like a million options of things that you can do, right? Who's going to come? How many people? Where is it going to be at? International or not international, local, you know, the dates, the things, all the things. And so I've allowed myself to become super overwhelmed with this. But if I sit and go, what am I afraid of? What am I afraid of? I'm afraid that it will cost too much money. I'm afraid that COVID won't allow me to go. I'm afraid that if I choose something and the people that I want to come aren't available and I pick the wrong date, that's the story, right? I'm afraid they won't be available. Or I'm afraid if I choose the thing that I really want, then it will be too expensive and they won't have the money and they won't be able to come. And all this really boils down to, and then you say, and then what? And then what? And then what? And at the end of the day, the real fear is, I'm going to be alone. And then the real fear is, and I guess if I'm alone on my birthday, then nobody cares about me. Or nobody likes me, right? Or my life's lame, or whatever story. So I'm just vulnerably sharing these things. And as I say them out loud to you, it's important that we vocalize these things to people that we trust, or even just say them in the mirror to ourselves, or even put them on a voice note and listen to our own voice play it back to us. Because as I actually speak those things out, none of those things are actually true. They're just fears that pop up and hold us hostage in the decision-making process, rather than going, okay, I'm going to pick blank and ask if anybody is available for blank. And if they're not, I'll pick something else, or it's okay if I don't have a birthday party, right? It just is. So ask yourself, what am I actually afraid of? And go 3 layers deeper than where you started. The next thing that I want to offer up is a lot of times when we're trying to make the decision, we will say to ourselves, or someone will ask us a question and they'll say, I don't know. I don't know what I want, because it's that overwhelm response. So instead of allowing yourself to stop there and just say, I don't know, and that's the answer, start trying on the phrase, if I did know, what would it be? And go with the first thing that pops up. I'll share a little tip here in a second, so don't be scared of just making a choice, right? I don't know, but if I think about it, what do I want to do? I want to go to an all-inclusive resort. That's what I want to do. Okay, so that's what I would do in this instance. That's what I would do. So the next thing that we want to do is take the decision that we're making for right now and spend a minute with it. It doesn't mean sitting and thinking about it, this A or B. We've decided A. I've decided A in this moment. Now I'm going to sit and visualize A. I'm not going to do nothing about it. I'm not going to keep thinking about options. I'm going to choose one thing that feels good in this moment, and then I'm going to do a visualization around it. But I'm going to set a time frame around it. Tonight at 8 o'clock, I'm going to do a visualization, and I'm going to close my eyes, put on some meditative music, do a quiet meditation, and visualize what that experience could look like for me. And as I sit with it and close my eyes and feel into it, then my body will tell me if that still feels good or not. Your body is always signaling that would feel good, that wouldn't feel good. Once we can bring the brain out of it, get the body into some visualization and feel what that would feel like, would that feel really good for me? And if I come out of that and go, you know what, that all-inclusive doesn't actually feel good for me. When I visualize it, it doesn't actually feel good for me. Then we go with another option and try again. All right. So those are a couple of things that we want to start with is ask yourself what the stories are, ask yourself what you're afraid of. Instead of accepting, I don't know, choose one. If you did know, what would it be? And then take action to do a little visualization around it. I want to call out a couple of things that come up with the fear side of things. What am I afraid of? A lot of times people are afraid that they will be wrong. They're afraid that whatever they choose maybe won't live up to their expectations. They're afraid that it could hurt themselves or someone else. So really digging into this fear space, breaking down the stories and choosing if you're going to accept those stories as realities or not is really important. And probably one of the biggest fears for people is they're afraid to take responsibility. Once I make a decision, I've seen this happen in corporate America, having had worked there for a long time. I could see so many people struggling with the fear of being wrong, but really it boiled down to the fear of being responsible and wrong and going, I'm the one that chose that, and it's okay that I'm wrong. I can choose again. Or it's okay that I'm wrong and it feels really yucky and maybe some people aren't excited about it, but I can handle those feelings as well. So feeling wrong a lot of times is really just being afraid to take responsibility because we're scared that we can't handle the feelings that come with something not working out. Now I'll put this back in the context of choosing a birthday location. Let's say I choose a birthday location and all inclusive, and the visualization feels really good. But then I get there and it's a crap hotel and we've spent a lot of money and the food's disgusting and the reviews were way off and. Then the fear is that because I have all these expectations around how it's supposed to be, then I'm the one that put everybody in this situation. And now I'm a bad person. And now no one's going to want to travel with me ever again. And da, 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 da. And coming back full circle, is that actually true? If you go on vacation with people that you love and people that care about you for all the right reasons, and it turns into a crap show, I've been on vacations like that with people that I love. Do I still love them? Yes. Do I still travel with them? Yes. Do I still trust their opinions? Yes. So I know those things are not true. And this is just one little example. You can use this for anything in your life. So what we want to say to ourselves is, I am safe to feel whatever the outcomes bring, right? I'm safe to feel whatever the outcomes bring. I'm still loved. I'm still worthy. I'm still enough, regardless of the outcome, right? And we have to feel those beliefs in our body and know it to be true. The last couple are really just as important. And it always goes back to intention for me. What's your intention behind this decision? What's your intention behind this decision? And just a reminder that it's okay to allow yourself to choose something that feels right for you right now. It's okay to choose something that feels right for you right now. Your gut, your intuition might say, that feels right for me right now. I'm going to go do that. And then it turns into a shit show. And the powerful thing in this is that that's what felt right for you right now. And you now get to choose again. And using your gut decision, your intuition in this moment, what feels right for me now in the right now. All right. So always going back to what's my intention behind everything. And lastly, we want to really make sure that we're allowing ourselves permission to make decision. Permission to make decision, because like I said, once we make that decision and it produces any sort of a response or outcome from the universe in your life, then we just wake up and go, now I have the opportunity to choose again. I can even choose the same choice that I just chose on the next day or a different day because I'm stepping into it with a different perspective, right? So permission to change your mind in the decision, even after you've gone through asking yourself the stories and what you're really afraid of and choosing, like, if I did know, what would it be? You always have permission to change your decision. Even in the scenario of vacation, I could say, I want to go to an all-inclusive. You look up everything, everybody buys flights, puts down the deposit, whatnot. And then maybe I get closer to it and I go, you know what? Something's off. Something doesn't feel good. This has popped up, whatever the reason is. And I can make a decision to change my mind. It may be more work. It may be frustrating. People may have feelings around it. I may have feelings around it, but it's okay because you always have permission to change your mind, right? Lastly, whatever the outcome is, I want you to tell yourself, whatever the outcome is, this is happening for me. This is happening for me. Even when things happen and they seem kind of yuck in your life, remember that that yuck is creating a growth opportunity, a lesson for you to see, a possibility or an opportunity that maybe you're not even awake to. For example, many of us get afraid to give our hearts or be in relationship or fall in love or do those things because we have the chance of getting hurt, our hearts breaking, relationships falling apart. They're one of the most vulnerable things that we ever put ourselves into. But yet, what I need you to know is that heartbreak possibility of is worth the risk because you're growing yourself and you're growing in this space of love. And if your heart does break, which mine has gone through much, much heartbreak in this arena. And what I've realized is without that heartbreak, without losing that person from my life after they've meant so much to me, I couldn't have called in the new love that I have in my life, the new relationships that I have in my life, getting closer to even different friends and friendships as a result of that. So whatever the outcome is, even if you can't see it right now, and maybe another example is you unexpectedly lost your job recently or in the past year or year and a half, unexpectedly got laid off or the business went out of business or whatever it is. And it felt so frustrating and so sad or so hurt, or I'm a good employee, why me, why me? A lot of victim mentality and things like that. And it's painful and it hurts. But I promise you, if you've gone through that, there's something else that's just waiting for you to be so available to it that is going to create a new situation in your life that you could have never even imagined. That new job may bring you a new relationship, may bring you a new income stream, may bring you a new opportunity, may link you and sync you to things that would have never popped up if you stayed at your old job or in your old relationship or never got on and off with it, you know? So it's really important that we know that whatever the decision is, it's okay and it's happening for you. So we can surrender our expectations. We can surrender that the outcome has to look exactly like this. Life doesn't happen like that. It doesn't work like that for us. So simply allowing yourself to participate in life and show up from a very heart-centered self with heart-centered intentions and actions, that's what we want to go. I've made the decision, and now with that decision, I'm going to take heart-centered action and allow whatever else to unfold because it's happening for me. And like I said, permission to change your mind and choose again. The powerful thing about decisions is there's always another one that can be made, right? So if you don't like the outcome that has presented itself or surfaced itself from the decision that you made, don't give up now. Make a new decision. Make another decision, because probably the worst decision is not making one and not taking action, because it is delaying us opportunities towards our desires. I hope that this has been helpful for you. I hope that you enjoy these joy jams, and I'll be back to talk more every single week with a new little life hack. Have a wonderful day. Go out into the world, shine your light bright, and live a limitless life. See you soon.